Welcome everyone to Simsbury Sustainability Committee. Let's start with our roll call. We have Baird, we have Michael and myself as regular members. Jamie, I think, is going to join us, and then there she is.
There she is.
So we have all four of us, and then ex officio we have Lydia. Hey, Jamie. We have Lydia and Joe. And then a bunch of guests. So great seeing everyone. Great to have everyone. Happy New Year. Let's start with public audience. Would anyone like to, or actually, I'm sorry, we're doing introductions. I'm remiss in not introducing Chris. So we have a new member of the team, Chris Petron. Chris, and Chris will be the liaison to the sustainability committee. I saw a message that my internet was a little unstable. I don't know if you got all that, but
no, we didn't.
So
what you want to repeat it?
Yeah. So Chris Petron will be replacing Danny. Danny has served us ably over the last couple months after Ray Harris left. So I don't know if you'll be on future meetings, but thank you, Danny, for all you've done and all you're doing tonight. And welcome, Chris. Chris, would you like to introduce yourself at
all? Sure. I'm happy to be a part of the team. I'm the new project administrator in Public Works. And looking forward to working with you guys and everyone else, being part of the town. I live in town, and I've always thought it'd be great to work for the town. And here I am.
Great.
Terrific.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Anyone else would like to say anything in public audience? All right, let's jump in. I think the minutes went out to our December meeting. I don't know if anyone had any changes to the minutes.
Nope. I think the only thing, Mark, is that you might have you had us make that one adjustment on, I think it was Jason Casey's name. That quick revision.
Yeah, what was it? What did I say? Is it?
We had misspelled, I think we had it Jason Carey.
Oh, there it is. Yep. And in 5D. Yeah, that's Casey.
Yep.
Okay. Other than that, with that, is there a motion to approve the minutes as amended?
I'll make the motion to approve the amended minutes from December 2024. I'm having second thought about the date.
Good
Second.
enough. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
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 Opposed or abstentions? All right. Let me close that and look at the agenda again. What's next? We have updates from our ex officio boards, which tonight are Board of Ed and Recycling. Lydia, anything from Board of Ed to report?
Nothing in particular. We just we had one meeting in December and then off for the holiday. So we have a meeting this coming Tuesday night. It's going to be a packed meeting. So I'll have more for the next meeting, but we're starting second semester and we're going to be very, very busy moving through this semester. And Latimer is still getting a lot of comments from Latimer from the tours and the building and everything. It's been wonderful to hear. So we're very, very pleased and pleased that the public, has gone through the building. We had 600 people, as I mentioned, that went through the building on the tours, and we've only heard very positive comments from people. So that was that's good to know. And they liked the design, they liked the structure, they liked just everything about it. So we're very happy. We hope they stay like in that content mode when we move further with projects.
All right. right, sorry, I'm just switching. I'm trying to switch to my.
cannot talk or listen until the host admits you to the meeting.
Okay, never mind. Thank you, Lydia. Joe, anything from recycling?
No, nothing from recycling. I did go to that Clink, what do you call it, drop off today. So when we talk about that, I can tell you about my experience.
Excellent. So we will be coming back to that. All right, well, let's jump in. So Power Smart Solar and Storage Campaign. I'm scheduled to present the campaign at the Board of Selectmen meeting January 13th. Tom Roy and I will be there. You're all welcome, but I don't think it's a particularly important presentation. It's really just a quick overview of the program, right, that we're going to run, and what commitments we're asking of the town, and the goal is to then sign this memorandum of understanding, and then we'll be able to start the campaign. So it's been kind of a slow runway, but I think we have a good chance at the meeting on the 13th to get this thing signed and then get the campaign going. So I think we were originally hoping for our kickoff January 16th. I trust you've canceled that reservation, Baird?
I did.
Okay, so we can maybe shoot for February.
Yeah. Do you want to wait until the 13th to make a reservation, or should we do it now?
I guess it's up to you. If you want to check dates, we can pencil something in. I will let you know. So what's today? The 9th. So we got four days. So at this point, we may as well just wait. But I will have to coordinate with Bob Wall, because Bob will do the presentation, and we'll want to leave ourselves enough time to publicize it, right? To get the sort of the coalition
Right
out. So
I would contact the library and just pencil in a date. At least just reserve it, because it gets busy.
Okay.
And February we have a little mini school vacation, so a lot of things are going on.
okay.
So at least if you're on the library's calendar, you can always cancel, but at least you've got that.
And to that point, I would say we would probably also look to avoid the weekend of the long weekend, because I think a lot of folks are out of town. Yeah.
Right.
Mark, is this something that we should also try to have Tom Roy be kind of major speaker person at the opening of this for the library event?
I went to the one in campaign, and to my phone. I think I'm on my phone now. Can you all hear me still?
Yeah, you freeze up a little bit every now and then.
Yeah. So all right. So now this happens with my internet regularly. So I'm on my phone. So my video will probably freeze, but my audio should stay on. So that's been my experience. So the presentation in Avon, and it was excellent. It was really just Bob Wall.
Okay.
I think somebody introduced him. I forget. Right. So I think, Baird, your question is good, or we could extend the invitation to Tom. Chris, maybe you take that back. Mention to Tom, we don't have a date yet, but the kickoff for our Power Smart campaign, which will promote solar and battery storage. Tom, that's the idea of it.
Yeah, happy to do that.
So,
I'll pass that along.
Yes, if Tom would like to, do the introduction, that'd be great, or whatever role he'd like to play. Any questions or anything else on the Power Smart?
Well, just
I think
sorry, just one other thing on that. I mean, it kind of goes into the newsletter, which is our next point, but I have some material for the February newsletter. But I think I would defer on that and put it into the March newsletter and just have the February one be totally about the Power Smart campaign and, just information about it. Some of the stuff from Bob Wall's website and some of the promotional materials. Does that sound like a good plan to you?
So say it again. Which month would have the overview of Power Smart?
So for the February newsletter, which would come out February 1st,
February.
to focus it totally on Power Smart, if we get the okay from the selectmen.
I think that makes sense. Yeah, that would be great for people. People can read about it, and then let's really try to promote it, right? Work with the Green Coalition. I don't know whether what else can we do to promote it? Can we get anything in the paper? I mean, can we work with the library? Barry, we have a nice relationship with the library now. If they want to not just be a venue, but kind of be a partner in this stuff, and they got a publicity engine, right?
Yep. Well, if Bob can send us kind of the maybe you have this already, kind of the promotional package that goes with it. That I can work on stuff, and maybe Jamie can help me pull together kind of a press release that we could pass along to the library to send out to their press contacts.
Yep, I know they do that kind of stuff. I don't think we've seen anything yet, though, have we? Like flyers or social media content. I can reach out to Bob Wall.
Put it in a patch too, because they can run the press release, and then they always have something that has, activities this coming week in Simsbury. So, and a lot of people read that.
Yep.
All right, and I think, Barrett, that the next item on the agenda was the newsletter, which you just covered. Anything else on the newsletter? I think the sustainability plan newsletter looks great. Is Nancy still helping you with the formatting of those?
She is. So just, I think 3 quick things to report. One is that Danny was great helping to get the January newsletter out on December 26th. And there is a call for people to write comments. And so this is our first kind of interactive newsletter, and hopefully people do make some comments. As I said, if the Power Smart campaign is up and going, I would like to dedicate the February issue to that. I've also been working on doing one around housing, and I have 3 articles, I think 4 articles actually planned, looking at net zero housing in our area. So yesterday I was up at Ethel Walker School, and they have a residence hall that is net zero. That's really beautiful. The day before that, I was interviewing Kyle Cruz of Wolfworks and talking about their net zero houses in Farmington Valley and some of the retrofits they've done here in Simsbury. And then I'm going to, on my agenda, I have to talk with Josh Levy of Vessel about their net zero multifamily project that's being built here. So I was going to focus one newsletter, and maybe that will become the March newsletter, but focusing on net zero housing and some of the possibilities of creating more energy efficient housing down the road.
I'm
So that's
interested.
that's basically it on newsletter.
I'm curious, what do you think, given that net zero, and actually it's really cool to know about Ethel Walker School too. I had no idea. What do you think about introducing the topic of net zero? And then maybe it could be a continuation into April, where we then even, I know we're going to start doing the speaker series or something leading up to our big event in May, because I do feel like there's so much rich information there, and then several projects of which I wasn't even aware of a couple. So this could be much more even than one newsletter. So just a thought there.
Could be, yeah. I'll, by this weekend, Jamie, I should have the articles written, so I'll send them to you, and if you want to just take a look at them and see how you think they fit together or not, that'd be great.
Because I guess that my question would be, is there value in setting the understanding of net zero first and how net zero applies to towns, municipalities, and then getting into housing as an example? Or do you think our reader base is already there and is ready to jump right in? So that's just putting that in the back of your head as you're thinking through the articles.
Okay, thank you.
You know what, Jamie?
Barry,
I think the reader base is there at all. So I think anything that we can introduce it, even in small bites, it really helps to move us to where we really want to be. And I think second, while we're doing a lot of this for informational purposes, SCTV, you know, if we could probably Baird and Mark, you know, get on SCTV and, you know, have an interview about what we're doing and about this, just to introduce this. You know, the SCTV, Simsbury Community Media, has a lot of viewers. They watch a lot. And they also have a community calendar, which is very popular. So I would contact Simsbury Community Media and see what we could do to get on their program, their show.
Okay, thank you.
Barry, you mentioned Ethel Walker, Kyle from Wolfworks. What was he? Was there another?
And Vessel.
Bethel, right? Okay.
And then I have a shorter piece just on energy audits for the house too. Just a quick how-to on how to set up energy audits, and what is it, about a third of our town has done energy audits already, and trying to encourage more people to take advantage of this amazing Connecticut program to do energy audits for their own homes.
Yeah. Has Ethel, is the building you talked about, Ethel Walker, is that fairly new? Is that the one in the back?
I don't know what you're talking about in back. It opened to students in September 2024. So that
Yeah. Okay.
It's a new building project. It's got a green roof with sedum on the top. They've got 241 solar panels, all electric equipment in the residence hall, and they're hoping once when the sun's a little bit brighter, that they'll be able to achieve net zero energy efficiency.
Do you think they might be open to a tour? Have they ever done an open house?
Oh, sorry. I should have said on both of the interviews I went to. So Ethel Walker is very excited. They would love to have the sustainability committee come and do a tour. So if that's something that people would like, if anyone wants to propose a date, the head of the school is very interested in having us come up. And also Kyle Cruz at Wolfworks would love to show some of the net zero houses. They have one in Avon and one in Farmington that they've done. And both those families love the architecture and the building structure and would love to show it off. So if people are interested in either or both of those, we can set those up.
I think that's a great idea for both. I think that's great.
Yeah.
And then, you know, we can have photos and, you know, add that to the newsletter.
Okay.
I think that's a fantastic. I mean, what if we did a little program like and I mean, if Ethel Walker is excited about this, is this building a dormitory? I mean, is there space there? Is there an auditorium or something?
It's a dormitory for, I think, 54 students.
Okay. Well, you know, they've got facilities, so maybe we could tour that, and maybe have some talk, or a talk maybe Kyle, and then Ethel Walker could share their vision. Kyle could talk a little bit more broadly. I think that would be a really exciting event. I don't know if these houses that Wolfworks been. Did you say Avon and Farmington?
Yep.
That's probably a stretch to try and include them on a tour, but
yeah, this sounds really interesting. Maybe
Yeah,
even
it
for the
does.
speaker series. And I'm curious too. Does Ethel Walker do anything related to food waste, being that they, of course, have residential dining halls?
That I don't know.
Okay.
I didn't go there, Jamie. Sorry.
No worries. I know you're looking at the net zero. It just got me thinking, if they're already that advanced as to be moving to net zero dormitories, I'm wondering what they're doing in the residential dining halls as it relates to food waste. Going back to our own personal baby mission.
Their head of school is very environmentally interested. So she's someone we can reach out to and work with, I think.
There we go. That's another.
I think it's really exciting, and we should highlight what they're doing. All right. I mean, this is the kind of thing we want people to know about and copy.
Okay. I'll circulate a few dates, and if people just want to weigh in about a date that you think would work for you all, that would be great.
So we've got, I mean, let's just say we get approval on January 13th. So we'll maybe do kickoff for Power Smart in February. It could be part of Power Smart too, right? I mean, they have solar. So it could be a part of the Power Smart campaign. Because, this is a question for Bob Wall, but as I said, I went to the Avon presentation. The Power Smart campaign is something like 4 months, right? And I'm not sure what we're going to do for 4 months. So another event like this that is related, covers solar. They don't have a battery, right?
I know, and they don't.
That's okay, but I mean, Power Smart is solar too, so I think we could maybe fold it. Treat it as part of the campaign, but we'll see what else Power Smart wants to do over that period of time. And that'd be exciting.
Yeah, it's good.
All right, next item, sustainability fair. Last year was May the 4th. This year it's going to be it's one day. Is it the 5th or the 3rd? I forget.
The 5th.
5th. So it's one. I know it's one day off.
It's on Monday the 5th?
What was that?
Is it on Monday the 5th of May?
Oh no, sorry, it's this Saturday. What's this Saturday?
It's the 3rd.
Oh, it's the 3rd. Sorry.
May 3rd.
It is the 3rd.
May 3rd.
Saturday. Yeah.
So it's the 3rd. So may the 3rd be with you. So we talked a little bit about what worked well and what worked less well last year. I ran into, by the way, Kimber Degling, who was one of the vendors at our sustainability fairs. She and her husband have a business in town called Inner Glass. She is so happy that we are doing a sustainability fair. She travels around the country doing trade shows, selling their sort of energy efficient. So she's so happy to do one in town because their business is in town. And every time I see her, she wanted to know what the fee was to sign up for the fair. So it really was a huge success. And so last year when we talked about what we want to do again and what we may not want to do, I know one thing we said, let's leave out the long or the series of talks, because we just couldn't get people to come to that tariff bill. We might have one keynote, and we don't have to decide that tonight, but I think that was one change. But what we did say is let's take some of those talks and move them ahead before the fair. So if the fair is May 3rd, then maybe in April, maybe March/April, we might plan. But we're going to have February solar and storage. So maybe we can kind of start to think of this all as one thing, right? So we've got one is the Power Smart kickoff. If we're going to put together like a poster of the sustainability series, it could be Power Smart, it could be the Ethel Walker tour, and maybe we pick one or two other topics and host an evening at the at the library. Maybe we do something on heat pumps or efficiency in heat pumps. But I think the idea was let's maybe schedule those ahead of the event, and maybe at the event we would have maybe a talk, and maybe like outside, like there may be, like there was a tent, there was a good sized tent. Maybe we might consider something like a second tent for some smaller talks like composting or bike repair or something, not as formal. People can wander by and sit down and listen in or keep walking. So just a thought. So those are kind of my thoughts on the fair. Any other, thinking back of last year and any changes or thoughts or plans you would suggest? Greg, I should let you go first. You're kind of on, you've got the best sort of line of sight.
I don't have much. I think most of the groups that we had were wonderful. I hope we can build on what we did last year. And my main question was just an organizing committee for it. Last year, Joe and Mark and Susan Van Cleef were part of the kind of ongoing weekly or bi-weekly organizing committee. I didn't know if anybody else here was interested in diving in and being part of that organizing committee. Okay.
Yeah, count me in.
Okay, great. Joe,
Susan, we moved tonight's meeting from its regular first Thursday, and it collides with something for Susan Van Cleef, so she can't be here, but she'll probably want to be involved.
Good.
When's the first meeting?
I haven't sent out dates yet. I have to call the library and check to see when they're available. But
I
Joe,
should be able to help out too, Baird.
Do you have days of the week that are better for you? I think we did Tuesdays last year. I don't know if that Tuesday afternoons work.
Right now, yeah.
Okay. All right. Sorry, Jamie, what did you say?
I said I should be able to help out as well.
Oh, wonderful. That's great. That's awesome.
Any other thoughts, based on last year, changes or things? Would we want any thoughts on a keynote? We could have Terry Walters back, or something different, or we don't need a keynote. But think about that. If anybody's got any thoughts on what topic or what speaker they'd like to maybe have, maybe we have one. We talked about, I think we invited town officials, but we didn't really, there was no real formal gathering of the whole event. We made announcements about this talk starting, but it was really just kind of a, so I don't know if we need speeches, right? We don't need, the town officials to come do speeches, but we certainly want to invite them. The children's activities were great. I think we also talked about maybe trying to even get some of the schools involved earlier with either some, art or science project or something.
It could be really fun. You have groups like the Take Action Committee, in the elementary schools. Maybe there could even be some sort of connection there because having the seedlings available. So maybe they could do something. I know sometimes at the schools, they're planting seedlings that they can watch grow and such. I don't know if there's any sort of full circle activity like that could potentially, where the dots could be connected, but that, definitely things for the littles.
Yeah, for the kids, and that was a big hit too, because it's open to families, so they will bring their kids, and it's great to have kid participation from the schools in this. But Terry Walters, her talk, I was in her talk, was good. I think that room just is a hard room to lend itself, for discussion purposes or presentations, but there's no other place you could do it. But I think if we have another tent and you have chairs set up and you have someone there doing something, you know, as long as they don't have a PowerPoint where they need anything like that. But that's another option.
Yeah, I kind of like that. You know, informal. You know, people can wander by. They might catch 5 minutes of something on solar or a heat pump or pollinator.
Mark,
I thought the food truck.
I
Sorry,
think
go ahead.
one possible addition is to make sure that Bob Wall plays a role in it, as a speaker or as a booth or something. But if the Power Smart campaign is going to be going on, obviously we want to put that front and center of everything that we're doing.
Yeah, I wonder if there's something he can do, like bring in a battery or. Well, we will be starting the campaign, so we'll know more, so we can we'll have that conversation with Bob. Maybe there's something we can do. All right. Well, it was a great event.
If we, that room was packed with booze. I mean, we had no room to spare, and I think that we had some outside under a tent. So the word will travel if we have more vendors or more people that want a booth. We can't put them inside. I don't know if we could put them in the hallway, but that's, logistically, the only place they could be is really under another tent. Because those,
yeah, be first come, first serve.
Yeah, right. I mean, it would be a shame not to get even some new vendors to come, if the word travels.
Is there any other room that could do just even like a few of the vendors? I know you would hate to have like an A room and a B room, but if there was a thematic to it, maybe then, people would still make sure that they made the stop into that extra room. I don't know. I'm not as familiar with each of the rooms in the library.
Yeah, because the rooms are kind of sequestered, so you'd have to go a hallway to go to, one room and the other room. And then down the hallway is the larger terrafill room. And people just aren't going to go in there. I mean, they normally don't.
Yeah,
that's
so
true. Okay.
It's logistically, it's just hard. And there's nothing upstairs.
The indoor, and then the outdoor tent worked really well, I thought.
Yeah, I think that's it.
It was a gorgeous day.
And there's room.
The bike repair went really well.
That was a big hit.
That is the thing. If we are doing more tents, then we do have to be aware if it's a rainy day or something.
Exactly.
Is it a rain or shine event? Is there a rain date alternative? I'm guessing it's rain or shine. So it would just impact. Maybe we have to think through which vendors are in the outside tents just to be sure that there's nothing that could be damaged by wind or rain or something.
All right. Next item on our agenda is the Clink opening. Where do you want to update the group? Or?
Sure. So there were some, there've been a bunch of changes over right after Christmas. Stop and Shop and Clink got in touch with me, and they were planning on doing a big Clink activity at the West Simsbury Shop and Stop on January 14th. As their publicity people thought about it, they decided to do their big publicity event in the Clink that is at New Britain instead, because they then want to show that they can go take their stuff right to the Berlin recycling plant that we all went to this summer. And so they really wanted to make that connection that recycling becomes easier with Clink. So again, the official opening of Clink, I don't know, Joe, you can tell me if it's open already or not, is on the 14th. They'll be sending me a press package, and they said that we can put it up, but they don't want us to do anything until the 14th. They're kind of trying to make that a big splashy opening. But the hope is that it builds more recycling. And I don't know, Joe, what was your experience today?
Well, I went there today just to go shopping. And when I went inside, Clink had a table set up. And it was right next to their kiosk. They have a kiosk in the store. So I was talking to the folks there, and they said at noon today I could put stuff in there. So maybe they're having like a soft opening, before the, what'd you say, the 14th?
Mm-hmm.
So, and what I found, I did find out a couple things. So you got the unit outside. Inside Stop and Shop, there's a kiosk, and the kiosk gives you the bags. They were giving out these bags free today, but they're when you got to buy them, they're $2.50 for 10 bags, and they can hold about, let's see, I wrote it down here, about 125 12-ounce cans. And they average, Clink says they average 68 items on every bag they have that comes in. Because remember now, like you'll be able to put like an apple juice container in this, right? Right now you can't return those. You're paying a deposit on it, but you can't return it with the automated machines that Stop and Shop has. I don't know about really other supermarkets. So in the store, well, when you sign up for an account, you get a starter kit. So they're going to send you some free bags. I got some free bags coming, and they also send you, I think they send you like a card with a QR code on it, like your account QR. So when you go in, you can scan it at the machine, the kiosk in the store, and you can either buy bags or you can print out your Clink stickers. These stickers here, you put on your bag. So the idea is you want to get yourself a few of these stickers, get yourself the bags from the starter kit. And then what you do is you fill up your bag, you put the sticker on it. And then when I pull into Stop and Shop, I go over to the Clink unit and I launch my Clink app, right? There's an app, of course. And let's see if I got it here. And then the Clink app will have a QR code. So I open my Clink app, I go over to the unit, I hold it up to the scanner and it unlocks the door. And then I put my bags in. I think they say you can only put in 3 bags. Oh, and one thing about the app, I found out the hard way. There's 2 Clink apps. There's one for Maine and up there, because that's where they're headquartered, I think, in Maine. But there's a Connecticut one. So if you go to the Apple App Store, there's 2 Clink apps. You want the Connecticut one. So, and what else? What else did I learn?
Well, then Clink deposits money in your bank account, right?
Yeah, you can see here on the app, it's got a dollar thing there. It tells you how much money is in your account. So it was kind of a long process. I had trouble signing up on the website. It was a little kludgy, and then I had the app mix up, with the 2 different apps. But when I went there today, the people behind the table cleared up a lot of things. And there's no no miniatures. They don't take the miniatures. It's just everything in the CT bottle bill. So like I said, that just expanded for like juice containers and stuff. You know, you can put those in. What else? I'm gonna it's supposed to be working, so I have a bunch of cans. I'm gonna give it a try. You know, I got the bags, I got the QR stickers. So I'm gonna give it a try. I don't know, tomorrow or the next day, just see what happens. But
That's
you know,
great. Thank you.
yeah, my family generates a lot of returnables, and you know, feeding those machines is time you don't get back, you know.
Yeah. Do you know whether is Stop and Shop going to discontinue the machines?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, when I spoke to the sustainability coordinator at Stop and Shop, the reason that they're partnering with Clink is because with the 10-cent deposit, that more people are bringing their bottles and cans, and it creates staffing issues for
Right.
the supermarkets. And they don't want to have to designate all this staff to have to deal with bottles and cans. So they'd rather offload it and have someone else deal with the recycling part of their operation. So that's where Clink comes in. That's why it's a partnership with Clink and Stop and Shop.
I think once people get used to it, then it'll be a little bit easier to do, because even when you try to return bottles and cans in the machines, for some reason, I get more back than even goes in, you know, and then you get deposit. And then you get the one that's stuck in there, and you know, you put your hand in because otherwise, and then I feel bad holding up a lot of people that want to do that, but that's what happens all the time.
And everything's got to be purchased in Connecticut. Whatever you put in the bag.
Sure.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So they sounds like they have a kiosk. And there's actually a person from Clink in the store when you were there, Joe?
Well, today, because they were promoting it, you know, they had a table and a banner and they had 2 people there. But once it's up and running, you know, there's just going to be a, you know, looks like a little ATM machine that, and that's all that's going to be there. And that's going to have the bags, and it's going to print out your QR codes.
Right.
Well,
let's all go do it.
Yeah.
Post it on Facebook and like it and do all that good stuff. Do you know, Barry, whether it sounds like they're promoting it now, but are there any events? There's no events in Simsbury or any kind of I mean, we could just try to get the word out, but or do they have any materials for us to distribute or?
Yeah, they're gonna send me a promotional package, and so we'll be able to write up something to put it with Danny's help or Chris's help, put it up on the website and Facebook page, and get it out as much as possible. I don't know if more generally the town would like to promote it. I don't, you know, I know it's a private business. I don't know if that's off limits, but it would be a good plug for more recycling in town.
Also, when you look at their website and the app, it looks like they're open to, like, say maybe I drop off a bag and I somehow, I don't know, tag it for the Boy Scouts. You know, there's some way, I think, to divert your funds to other participating groups.
That's right. That's right. When Jen and I met them, there's something like Clink for Good. Jen may remember, but I don't know if I got that right. But yeah, that's right. Where you could designate that your monies go to some nonprofit.
Yeah, or well, yeah. I was going to say Sustainable Simsbury, but and just my last piece of advice, I would establish an online account first. Then I would download the Clink Connecticut app, make sure you can log into that. Then I would go to the kiosk and print out my tag. Yeah.
All right. Well, great. Well, thank you. I was the actual container or building there was pretty interesting. It looks like it has. Why is this doing this? It looks like it has. It's got solar. I don't know why this picture is this shape, but anyway, you got solar panels on top, and I don't know if this is either a wind turbine or it's like ventilation, or it could be both. Right? But they're definitely trying to make this, a pretty sustainable thing. All right. Last item is our sustainability plan and goals. And so where we are on our sustainability plan is we issued a draft. It contains energy and it contains waste. We presented it to the Board of Selectmen, to the Board of Ed, and we've gotten some feedback from Tom Roy, Public Works. And I think the next step for us, we've got a couple of things we want to do now. It's gone out into the newsletter. Apparently we've got some feedback coming in, so we'll look for more of that. But I think, or let me see what you all think, but I think it would be good to invite the public to some kind of an information session about the plan and try to get some public feedback. And then I think that the other thing we want to do is sit down now with Tom Roy and look at his comments, and B, with Jason Casey from the Board of Ed. And I don't know whether we want, is it Kyle Loveland? Is that his name?
Yeah, Kyle. Kyle would be person.
So I think what we did was we put together our best version of what we think we want to do, but that was really without a lot of buy-in or input. So we're now seeking that, and I think what we want to do is get to a version of our plan that the town and the schools can say, yes, we will do that. Right? Maybe we'll have to take some stuff out or soften it a little, but so that's the goal, is to get this plan. And then we go back to these different boards, the Board of Selectmen, the Board of Ed, and say, okay, now it's not just a draft. We've gone through, we've made some revisions, we've got feedback from following groups and from the public. We present this to you to be approved by the Board of Selectmen and then by the Board of Education. Right? And that's, I think we have to follow through on that right now. Right? We've put a lot of work into getting these draft goals. We'll see what comes out on the other end of the sausage machine, but I'm determined to follow through and get this plan sort of to see the light of day. So, any thoughts on the public information session?
Would it be moderated, Mark? That would be my.
What's that?
I'm curious, like, would it be moderated? Have there been similar discussion forums in Simsbury where we could say, like, this is best practice, this is how we know that we'll get the most valuable dialogue with folks that want to offer feedback or ask, questions? Is it something where questions are submitted in advance, so it kind of structures the conversation, or is it more open forum? I think.
Mark, if you want me to
Oh,
sort of answer that a little bit.
Go, Danny.
We've done similar public information meetings for example, Curtis Park Trail that we're looking to propose. Sort of we give them an oversight of how we came to where we are, what we're looking to do with whatever it is, the project at that time, or for you guys, the sustainability plan. And then that sort of you go into that in pretty deep detail, the moderator, whoever you want that to be, whether it's Mark or if Tom Roy, we could discuss who that is. And then open it up to sort of a Q&A with the public. And that keeps the conversation going pretty good.
Yeah, I like that. Would it be at all useful? I mean, we're surrounded by towns that have done this already, some 3, 4, 5 years ago. Would it be helpful to have someone from Avon who did this last year, or Bloomfield who did this about 5 years ago, or West Hartford who did this about 5 years ago? I mean, they all have really positive experiences with creating clean energy plans. And I mean, those are all our neighbors. We're not quite there yet, but they might be able to speak to how it's worked in their town and why they have supported such plans.
I think that's a
it's a
great
great
idea to have them. Yeah, I think it's important because they can speak to the success that they've had and how long it took them to get to where they are. And I think the public needs to hear that this is real and it's been working well in other communities. So what's holding Simsbury back? I think the ultimate goal is to get buy-in from the community,
Right.
First to understand, and then get the buy-in about what's going on and what we're planning to do. Danny, where did you have the meetings at Public Info Meeting?
For ours, we had them at Terriffill School, although those were pretty large meetings. We held it, I think it was in their cafeteria. I'm not sure how much of an outcome we're expecting, but we could probably hold it in the library, one of their conference rooms.
You could hold it at Latimer Lane School. We've got a great new library.
You could do that as well. You may want to live stream it, and I don't know. I'm assuming Latimer's set up for SCTV to live stream stuff. Just want to make sure that you coordinate that.
Wait. That's a good point.
So I just put a link in the chat. There's a resource that I know I've come across before, and if you page down to like chapter 4, stakeholder collaboration and community engagement, there's a bunch of ideas for sort of organizing an event. I know I went to some stuff that the town did, the planning department did on like the POCD and stuff. So we have some good precedents for engaging the town, and these two things. I don't know how well we'll do, but a lot of times these things, people are very interested. They'll come and they'll share their views. So I think it would take a little bit of planning, some kind of we'll start with an overview of the plan. And I remember the one, I don't know if folks attended this, but there was one a kind of information session at the middle school on the POCD. I think it was POCD.
Yeah, it was a POCD. Yeah.
And there were you had money and you could spend it on certain goals, and you got stickers, and one was what you really were proud of in Simsbury, and one was what you didn't like so much, and you could stick to it. So we could definitely create some activities where people are getting up and walking around and putting stickies on the wall and get charrette, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Charrette. Simsbury loves charrette. So I think that'd be a really fun event. And we'll try to get some town leaders to do that. So when we got a couple next steps on the energy plan, the sustainability plan, but I would say let's get that on the calendar. Let's sort of start to maybe that could be our March event. We've got February, maybe kick off with Power Smart. Maybe March could be an information session on the sustainability plan. And then April, we'll have maybe 1 or 2 sessions in advance of the fair on, energy issues.
I think also we want to clear that, get Tom and Kyle involved. So I think starting with them to see what their schedules are. We could always do it back at Henry James. That's a more central location than Latimer Lane.
Yeah, boy, if we can do it at Latimer, that would be great. For one, you show off Latimer, right?
Oh yeah, we could book it in the library for an evening and have it there, show off the new library. Of course, we'd be sitting in little chairs. No, well, we could put big chairs around. We could have it in the gym. I mean,
So why don't we do this? Danny, it sounds like you've done some of this. You've got some ideas, and maybe we could just set up a planning meeting for this offline, because I think we need to get a date. We need to pick the venue, and then talk about the choreography and how the evening would sort of progress. And it'd be great, Danny, while you're still sort of somewhat available to us, it would be great to sort of tap into some of what you've seen done and best practices. And so who might be interested in helping to organize an event like an information session on the sustainability plan? I think we need like 2 or 3 of us.
I'll help. I can, be the liaison.
That'd be great. That'd be great.
Yeah.
And if you can maybe already float the idea of doing it at Ladder.
Yeah, I can with Kyle. And
Okay. Yep,
he's,
Jason, Kyle.
I'm sure he's been seeing the plan, so.
Right. All right. So let me just write this down. So we've got Lydia. And if anybody else, okay, great.
Maybe we can meet with Danny with you. Like, when are you leaving? I know you're leaving. What?
I'm
No?
not leaving. No, it was just
Change.
Yeah, it's Chris is taken back over since it was Ray's role.
Oh, yeah. So maybe I think the key is that, Baird and I can meet with you or Chris, to start the conversation, and have Kyle and Tom in on this, in the planning.
Absolutely.
Sounds good.
And if we can get dates set with them, and then, ask their, advice, opinion, recommendation on this. Getting a place is secondary. I mean, because we have plenty of space.
You mentioned Kyle.
Kyle
Lydia.
Kyle Loveland, Jason, Casey, yeah. So
if we're going to plan a meeting with them, what would we do? Like afternoon, later afternoon? Does it matter?
yeah, I mean, we would do it at town hall. That would be the best place. And just have it there. We could have it in the board, the boardroom upstairs. So again, everything's got to be coordinated with their calendars and schedules.
And Jamie, your point, subject matter experts on hand.
Yeah, just in case, if the Q&A from the from folks becomes specific about different aspects, would it be good for us to have subject matter experts on hand outside of just the committee folks? Or we could say within the committee, this person is going to be responsible for fielding questions on this subject, et cetera, et cetera. But, we do get into some specifics about energy and green energy and solar and, things along those lines. I don't know if these discussions usually include outside experts, subject matter experts, or if it is just, within the committee's expertise typically.
Well, you know what? Bring that up. I think, with Danny, that's a good point, to kind of run this by Tom. Because he's done this before, he will know, and I'm sure he knows the people that you may know, Jamie, or that. So I think that's a great idea to have some experts, or specialists there for some questions that come up.
So we've got kind of two parallel tracks here. One is let's get a little group, and Danny, if you're able to help us, with one additional meeting or so, we'll start to plan, and we'll pick a date. We'll plan this, the basic organization of this, and then separately we want to have internal conversations with Tom and Chris. You probably want to pull you in, and anybody else, and then with Jason, Kyle, and whoever else he wants. But those are kind of, internal conversations. Tom and Jason may prefer to get those done before we go public. Maybe have a version of the plan that we internally have kind of vetted. So I'm gonna try to set those meetings up soon, very soon, at least before. But we're talking maybe March for a public information session.
Yeah, and I think we need to have their weigh in very heavily, both Tom, and Jason, before we do anything from this committee.
Yeah. So why don't we do this? Let me combine these for now. Let's get those meetings with Tom. Let's get those and with Jason, and maybe one meeting, I don't know, or maybe two. And as we're doing that, we'll say, hey, by the way, we're also want to have a public information session. Let's look at dates. How would you like to have this presented? So we can kind of do that, but we'll work sort of internally first, and then we'll start to plan if we can get those meetings going soon, then we'll have time to still plan a March event. That makes sense?
Yeah. Mark, do you want to contact them for an upcoming meeting? Get on their calendars?
Yeah, I almost did it, but I wanted to kind of hear, what the group had to say about all of this. But I think we need to really go through it. And if Tom gave us some feedback and there's some things he thinks are great, there's some things he thinks we got to revise. So let's work on, what can we agree on? Same thing, we got energy, we've got waste, we've got the town, we've got schools. It's a lot. It's in each one of them, it involves resources, involves, time and planning. And so it's, but we have to follow through and get to something that we can all agree on, even if it's a smaller subset than what we're starting with. And on that note.
Yeah. And we presented to them, and I know, Tom and Public Works are definitely going to look at this, and they may want to tweak some things before we go public with this. The same with Board of Ed.
Yeah.
They've got, so yeah. I would really strongly go on their recommendations as how, for the next step.
Yep. Yeah. I mentioned the topic of resources that, to get a lot of the, I think, this could be part of the conversation. Well, great. We'd love to have solar on these schools. We'd love to do this. But we need, everybody's already got full-time jobs. So yeah. I did ask Tom about whether we would be submitting a request for a sustainability coordinator in the current budget round. I was informed that is not going to happen. That apparently last year, the town manager was given a couple additional head count. I don't know exactly what they were. I'm thinking they might have been public safety type stuff. So there will be no new positions this year, or no new resources. So we're it.
Yeah. This is going to be a very tight budget year. Both Board of Ed and Board of Selectmen. We had a tri-board meeting in November and had the discussion, or December about this. So this is where we are, because we're starting the crafting of the budgets right now and budget meetings.
Well, Mark, that's really disappointing news, because the story keeps coming down with every sustainability initiative, is that those are great ideas, but we don't have anyone in town who actually has the time to be able to oversee that, or to write it up, or to take it on. And so again and again, we come back to, we'd like to do this, but, and I don't understand why Bloomfield can do this and Avon can do this. And, basically towns to our north, south, east, and west have all been able to do this. And we're stuck with, we can't. And it's just disappointing.
Do we know if any of those towns initially fundraised for the position through grants? And then ultimately, we're able to continue paying for the position through the savings recognized in the budget, because of course, ultimately, that's what this role would help us do, is to unlock savings. So
Right.
I am curious, is it a matter of just getting that initial, I don't even know if it's 9 months, 12 months, 18 months? Do we know if they just got lucky and had a surplus budget year and were able to write it in, or if there was a grant involved or something along those lines?
I think there were some grants initially. I know, and I think it may have been how Catherine Deviney started her role in West Hartford. But
Yeah.
and I happened to see Catherine Bruns the other day. Baird, she was had a lot of good things to say about you and your kids coming to see her in West Hartford. She's a recycling coordinator in West Hartford, and I mentioned that we were struggling with budget requests, and she said, "Well, get a lot of towns are using the NIP funds for this." So I did mention that to Tom, and I will follow through on that. We, even if we can't even have a half-time person to use the NIP funds for, say, a consulting budget, right? We can bring someone in to run, to do a food waste program, or we bring someone in to manage a solar project or something, or. But yeah, it is disappointing. I think we do strongly believe and have evidence in other towns that these positions will pay for themselves, right? In the energy savings and attracting grants, all kind of stuff. So
yeah, being
we
able
will
to
keep-
connect the municipality to state and federal funding that, at this moment, no one really has it in their remit to be looking
Right.
for that actively.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure where the NIP reimbursement amount goes to in Simsbury. I want to say Public Works, but that it went to Public Works for the first year or second year or what have you, but I'm not quite sure.
All right. Anybody have anything for open forum? I have something that I need to announce to the team, and that is that I'm going to be stepping down as chair. And that's because my wife and I are taking on a project, a real estate development project in town. Happy to talk to any and all of you offline about that. I don't want to take up our time with it now, but I need to step down as chair for two reasons. One is I'm going to be really, really busy. And the other is this project, I'm hoping that it's going to have all kinds of sustainability features in it. So as I advocate for that and try to make that happen, I need to for people to know, is this Mark Scully, chair of sustainability, talking, or is this, Mark Scully, developer? So I will step down as chair. I'm not going anywhere, and I will still volunteer. I'd love, if you'll have me, I would love to still help out. But I don't want to be in the official capacity as chair anymore, given this role that we're taking on. So, so maybe let's have some conversations, and maybe at our next meeting we could nominate a new chair. So I'll leave you with that thought. But as I say, I'm not going anywhere, so we don't need to say goodbye. But I just need to get rid of my official title. So
is this just temporary? You're stepping down as chair, or are you going to come back?
Well, it's not going to be quick. I mean, this project we're taking on will take a few years. So it's kind of a dream for me. So again, I don't want to take an official meeting with that, but I'm happy to maybe grab a beer with some of you or a cup of coffee, and we'll fill you in. But I'm excited about it, and I'm excited to keep working with this group. But and you'll probably do better with with somebody else leading anyway. So I'm happy to let somebody else step up. So is there any other news, any other open forum, or is there a motion to adjourn?
Hi, sorry. My name's Catherine Brady, and I just have an assignment where I have to log on to a sustainability meeting and basically observe it. And I have to record like an argument that you guys have and like pick which side I most support. And that never really came up in the meeting. So I was wondering, are there any subjects any of you are really tied on and are arguing for?
Well, Catherine, well, thank you for joining us. Great to have you. What a great question. Anybody, anything come to mind? Anyone?
So I remember an argument that well, it wasn't an argument, but there was a debate. I don't believe we ever settled it because we sort of ran out of time. But it was whether or not the Sustainability Committee should provide a platform for the candidates for town positions to explain their opinions on sustainability, or if that was viewed as our committee being overtly political. So there was definitely a debate there.
Yeah.
I think that's the last time we debated anything passionately as a group.
That was the last
Yeah,
time. That was the one time where it did get.
And we did do a survey, right? We invited all of the candidates for the major offices in town, right? We gave a couple questions about sustainability and said, what are your views? Where do you stand on this stuff? And then I think we published it, right? And we put it on. We handed it off to a local nonprofit who posted the information online. But yeah, that's a good question. We are a town sanctioned committee, right? We have an official charter. We are approved by. We are acting in the name of the town, right? We've got support from the town here at our meeting. We have a role to advise the town, and things come up, new developments, or things that we want to see happen in town, or projects, and so we represent the town and we speak to sustainability issues. And so the question is would it be appropriate for us to do this type of a survey and publicize the information that candidates provide?
So, sorry, just to clarify, like your argument was whether you keep referring to them as candidates of what? Of the
like the selectmen. Do we do board of selectmen?
We did Board of Selectmen and Board of Finance candidates.
Finance.
And they were all running in a municipal election.
This was back in the fall.
Okay.
And the real debate was whether or not, as Mark had said, the nonprofit ended up posting the information, but it was whether or not it had a space on the Sustainability Committee's page, official town committee page, if it should be published there as well, just for a point of reference, or if that felt that this committee was taking a political stance.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Maybe we should get spicier with our meetings. Maybe we're not getting into the real meat of things if we are all agreeing.
Well, and I don't know if this debate was, I'm sorry, and was it Caroline or Catherine, did you say?
Who?
Catherine.
Catherine, okay, Catherine, was it supposed to be like something we talked about in this meeting tonight? There was a debate?
No, it's fine as long as I just have like an argument that you guys were like torn against whether you should do, and then I just pick a side on which one I support more.
Okay, so you got what you need, do you think?
Yes, thank you. Well, just one thing. Did you guys agree that it should be published or that it was too political?
We gathered information, and we were told that the town website does not post any kind of political information. Right? We were basically asking people their political views, right? Their position. And the town website doesn't do anything like no campaigning, no secret campaigning, right? And so we published it somewhere else, not on the town website is what we did.
Thank
That
you.
was the compromise, yeah. All right. Good. Any other? Hearing none, then is there a motion to adjourn?
So move. I'll make a motion to adjourn.
And I see seconds. Before we do, it just occurred to me, is there a, Jen and others, is there a meeting with CET tomorrow? Are you doing that tomorrow?
There is.
Yeah. Okay, so we'd look forward to hearing back what Center for Ecotechnology can do. They were great help with us before. So, all right, we'll look forward to hearing more on that. All right, well, thanks everyone. Have a great rest of your evening.
Thank you so much.
Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.